In our discussion today, how H20 BWT survived the pandemic and their recovery plans for the future. Welcome back, everyone, and welcome to another live session of Franchising with FASA. Joining us today is H20 BWT, Gary Daines. So I just want to say a warm welcome to everybody. Thank you for joining us today. If you're watching this, let us know where you're from. Also hit the like and share button. Share this with anyone you feel may be interested in learning about business or learning about franchise opportunities. Our guest today is Gary Daines from H20 BWT. International. H20 BWT International South Africa has a proven track record of over 26 years of excellence in the water purification market. At the forefront of the purification industry, H20 BWT is committed to providing South Africans with the very best water technology available in the world. H20 International's range over 450 internationally renowned purification systems for the home, office, hospitality, and agricultural industries. H20 BWT's extensive range includes water purifiers, dispensers, coolers, boilers, showers, filters, ice makers, food waste disposals, cartridges, spares, and services too. Whether it's purified drinking water or chlorine-free shower or excellent tasting coffee or ice, H20 BWT is the product to satisfy the need. So we'll be back in a few minutes to chat with Gary Daines. So in the meantime, grab a cup of coffee and remind you to hit the like and share button, and we'll be back with Gary. So hello, and welcome back, everybody, and hello to Gary. How are you today?
Hi, Romany. Very well. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Good. So we're going to be talking a lot about water today and the franchise opportunities and how H20 managed to recover and carry on and what does it look like for the future. So my question for you today is, as an essential service, how has H20 BWT fared during the pandemic, and what are some of the ways in which you were able to adapt?
So I'd certainly like to say going into lockdown, we had it all, everything covered and we knew exactly what to do. But I think as everyone went into lockdown, we started with this 3-week period and the uncertainty. So we certainly learned along the way. But the first thing we did is we realized that we had to work on our game plan. We had to take a step back and we had to be innovative as to how we would, manage the situation going forward. From a franchisee perspective, it was tough. Pretty much all of our franchisees for the first 3 weeks stopped trading. And largely our franchisees are reliant on predominantly, a combination of water sales, product sales, and then dispenser rentals into the corporate environment. So that came to a grinding halt. So the first 3 weeks were really tough. But what we wanted to do is we identified, and as I think everyone in industry, we stepped onto the digital platform. And we spent a lot of time with our franchisees, focusing on product training, talking them through it, keeping contact with them, keeping them motivated. And as we learned through that period, we started off with us being able to open as an essential service. And again, not everyone knew how do you do it, what do we do? So we worked with them, we got the certificates in place. We worked with them in terms of opening their stores for limited times, sharing with them protocols, good practices in terms of how we could become operational. And through the following few weeks, we became operational. We then started having people coming through the doors. We also had to be innovative. We very aggressively developed our online store at that time so that we could also help our clients stay at home and still get the benefits of water and products. So we worked aggressively at using new technologies, new way of trading to assist our franchisees through that period.
I tell you, I think it disrupted many people's lives, and you thought maybe you could handle it, but I think the world went into a bit of a chaos moment at that. Especially everybody who wasn't tech savvy had to all of a sudden have a crash course in becoming tech savvy.
Sorry, Romany. What was also really interesting for us is BWT. We deal with factories all around the world. So for the first time, we were actually dealing with a global phenomenon. So the one benefit to us was, one, we could share ideas and with them around the world, but they also stepped in. So we were running training courses with all of our factories from around the world. So we really focused on a lot of product development, product sharing with our guys. And it was also a two-way street, because we were learning from them. They had the time to share with us. Normally they're in their stores, running their stores. It's very difficult to get time with them during the day. But now we had this dedicated time. So we spent a lot of time also learning, and having come through it now, we've polished a lot of our product offerings and product range through that learning and through that time.
That is something that I thought was very handy for businesses, that during this shutdown, you could actually reassess your business. If you were one of those, you could actually, look at your shortfalls and kind of come up with the areas that you need to improve in your business. So that makes a lot of sense. So tell us, I just want to remind the audience, if you've got any comments or you've got any questions you'd like to share with us, please, you're more than welcome to post your comments in the comment box below. Gary, tell us, has H20 BWT opened any new outlets during the pandemic, and have any branches thrived at that time or during that time?
So the first thing, going into the pandemic, we set ourselves an objective. We wanted to come through the pandemic being the same size as we went in. So the first thing was, in terms of our team, we wanted to keep our team the same. So our focus was not to let anyone go within our business. The second objective was, if we could maintain that, we wanted to maintain all of our franchisees. We wanted to work with them so that we could navigate through the storm and all of us pop out the other end of being in the same condition. And if we could achieve that, we realized we would be on a solid base to growth. Going through all of that, we continued to be head down in aggressively recruiting franchisees. And we were very pleased that we just post that, and really the relationships and everything was developed during that time. But we opened Potchefstroom and we opened Pietermaritzburg post the pandemic. So both of those franchisees are today fully operational, having opened in the last 2 months. So we were very pleased with that. And as I said earlier, we really worked aggressively. Our franchisees have been phenomenal in working with us to make sure that we navigate the storm together.
And about the new stores that you opened, did you open any new stores? And what?
So Potchefstroom.
Yeah, so did you? Potchefstroom, okay.
Yeah, so we opened Potchefstroom. Potchefstroom is a very, very good market. We learned a lot about Potchefstroom. The university is growing there, so there's a lot of growth in that market. And an enormous amount of domestic growth, people building homes, new estates, new developments there. So I visited them just 2 weeks ago, and I was phenomenally surprised to see how much is happening in Potchefstroom. So very, very rewarding to see that kind of growth outside of the greater metropolitan areas. Potchefstroom, unfortunately, like many of the outlying cities and towns, the water comes with many challenges. One is the inconsistency, and two, we're seeing an ongoing deterioration in the quality of water. So definitely a demand for water purification, and to support people in those areas and those communities to ensure that they're getting good quality drinking water. Pietermaritzburg, very exciting one for us. It's in a so Pietermaritzburg, a really exciting one for us. It's on the N3 freeway, so very centrally located, nice large shopping mall, a lot of foot traffic, and really one of those growing markets. So yeah, super excited. I'm going to be visiting them tomorrow, in fact, and what we're seeing there is also growth in water sales, but also significant growth in product sales, where we're seeing more and more people purifying their water at home.
You know, you mentioned Potchefstroom and the lack of water. I do remember, I think it was Lichtenberg, they were going for like weeks without water, or they would go for like days without water, and they had to carry water. So yes, water seems to be becoming more and more almost like a scarce resource. Is that the case? Or is it?
Undoubtedly. You know, we always joke, Cape Townians, all they talk about is the weather. Well, as South Africans today, all we talk about is electricity and water. You know, those are the topics of conversation at any social gathering. And undoubtedly, water is absolutely, we need water every day. But
yes,
people are exploring various sources of water and very much focusing at becoming independent, going off the grid, so to say. So we work with our clients and our markets in satisfying all of those needs. So if it's taking municipal water and purifying it for taste, improving the taste, ensuring that there's no sediments or bacteria in the water, if it's a rain harvesting system, if it's a borehole solution, we work with all of those collectively in the market. So undoubtedly, as South Africans, and quite honestly, around the world, we're not unique in that way. Everyone around the world is very conscious of water and water sources. We see documentaries on YouTube and Netflix endlessly focusing on water concerns globally.
Yes, I know that whenever it rains in Cape Town, I'm forever standing out in the rain going, I'm grateful for the rain. You know, I'm just grateful for the rain because, you know, we went through the drought, water shortage. Don't want to do that again.
No, we don't want to do that again.
Can you, which factors contributed to the stability or success of your franchise?
So I think the first thing to recognize is H2O as a business and as a franchise has been going for 26 years. The business was started by Tony Marcazzini, and I've often asked Tony, I said, explain to me, what on earth were you thinking 26 years ago starting a water purification business? 26 years ago, we were more than comfortable. We were rated in the top 10 in quality of water. But what that really talks to is the absolute vision that we have in H2O and the team that has come along with franchisees that many of them have been with us for more than 20 years. So it really talks to the vision and the longevity of H2O. What I think has brought a lot of stability is the skill set, the product range that we've had for so many years that is absolutely proven technology and from a quality perspective is just unbeatable. What we've also done in the last 2 years is, first of all, the joining with BWT. So BWT is an Austrian business and is the #1 water purification company in Europe. They have factories throughout Europe, in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Netherlands, into Denmark. And we also have factories in Russia, Ukraine, China, Taiwan, Israel. So what we're able to do is actually cherry pick and match the product portfolio we have with the needs of the South African market. So we're able to look into those global markets and see what best suits our market. And every water market is different, and every water market needs different technologies. So what we've been able to do is really spend a lot of time getting the product range right from a price point, from a quality, and from a technology perspective for this market. The other thing is we've grown our team incredibly from a technical perspective. So the support, the team that understands water and is able to assist our franchisees. As we always say, our franchisees are application engineers. We have an artillery of solutions, but there's no black box to water purification. It's all about applying the right technology, the right products to the needs and to the problems that we are trying to solve. So we're very fortunate to have a very strong team that is able to support our franchisees. What we've also done is we've substantially increased our stock holding here in South Africa. And that was twofold. One is the broader product portfolio. Two, as we all know, shipping has become a nightmare post or during the pandemic. So we're certainly seeing shipping lead times being far greater than what they were 18 months to 2 years ago. So we've increased our stock holding. And the second thing we've done is we've also created a second distribution hub. So traditionally, H2O would distribute out of Cape Town, and we've established a second distribution hub, which is based in Johannesburg. And what this does is it increases our flexibility and our turnaround times of getting products to the franchisees and ultimately to the end users. So I think those are the key elements that really have been added to the franchise business in stabilizing and helping us navigate through the storm. Sorry, Ravini, you've gone silent there.
Sorry about that. Can you tell us, do you have any new franchise opportunities available, and what should prospective franchisees, why should they choose your company?
So I think the one misconception so often about H2O is that we're another water shop. And I think, yes, we do sell water, but that is only really a third of what we are. The bulk of our business is really about water purification products and offering solutions and having world-class brands and products. So I think the first thing is to understand that part of our business. And then the third leg to our business is water dispensers. And this is a combination of both. This is taking water to the consumer, having it in the way they prefer it, cold, ambient, sparkling, with the right water purification behind it. So typically these are where we've office blocks or commercial properties where we take water purification. And then what has become very popular is hotels, where hotels are also obviously trying to be more eco-friendly, reduce plastic bottles, and use water purification dispensers all-in-one units in their markets. So we certainly are a very unique business and a very unique franchise to the traditional water store. The opportunities for us, we still have many opportunities in South Africa. Traditionally, H2O was developed and grown in the Cape Town market, so the greater Western Cape region is still very strong. There are some franchise opportunities, but many of the largest opportunities are in the greater Johannesburg region, in the Gauteng greater region. And what we're seeing is also opportunities in the outlying areas outside of Johannesburg. So as we saw in Potchefstroom, those kind of regions are in very much need of water purification as well. What we also bring is not only domestic element to it. We focus on what we call the commercial and the industrial segments as well. So this is anyone that's from brewing gin and microbreweries around brewing beer, to those kind of markets, to the high-end industrial markets, which could be bottling plants and so forth. So it gives you a really broad spectrum. And as we say, we can do anything related to water. We have the knowledge and we have the product portfolio. And I think also what we've really established is, with 26 years of history, we have a phenomenal community. We have a really strong base around the country. And in addition to that, we've helped all of our franchisees develop their own communities. And for me, it's always phenomenal when I spend time in our stores, how people come in and the franchisee, the staff, know all of their customers that are coming through their store. And that's really testament to the kind of franchisee and the spirit and the community that we create. What we've also been successful in is the greater Southern African region. We have a really strong franchise in Namibia, centralized in Windhoek, which is now expanded out to Swakopmund and the coastal region. We have Botswana in Gaborone, and we do some really nice commercial and industrial business into the Botswana market. We have Mozambique, which is positioned in Maputo, but we also do phenomenal business in the greater region. And they really have some real challenges in Mozambique and focus very much on reverse osmosis systems as a solution out there. We've recently set up a franchisee in the Zambia market. So we're entering into those Southern African markets, which creates huge opportunity. And those regions face the same challenges as we do in South Africa. I think you're on mute again.
I keep forgetting today to take myself off mute. I was just thinking about future trends. I would imagine that that's where you've positioned yourselves nicely, because if you look at future trends and where the world is happening, that's also a plus factor in looking at investing in a business, in any business, is to look at what are the future potentials? Is the business going to be around for the next 10, 20 years, for example, as opposed to something that could possibly become outdated? So I would imagine that this is quite a good opportunity in that regard. Tell us something. What kind of, does someone need experience to join your team, or what kind of person are you looking for?
So certainly, I think what we're looking for in our business is, yes, there's a technical component. We're looking for individuals that are looking for the freedom of owning their own businesses. We're looking for individuals that have, I think water to somewhat is a calling. There's a passion around water. In all elements. One, we all want clean drinking water, but there's also the environmental issue around water that is a responsibility that we all have as users of water. And I think, so certainly from a technical perspective, we're looking for somebody who's going to be able to assist their customers, has an interest in understanding water, and then somebody who undoubtedly enjoys people. We're in contact with people all the time. Our customers, they come through the door. Our customers that we support, we visit them in their homes, change the filtration, change the filters on their systems. So absolutely somebody who enjoys people and so forth. And then somebody who's really about developing their community. If we have a look at franchisees, certainly, actually any of them, are they all involved in their schools around them, in educating kids at schools? So as an example, one of the big focus points for us is to long term, we all know the risks around plastic bottles, the recycling of them and so forth, and the oceans that we create out of plastic islands in the ocean that we create out of plastic bottles. So there's that element as well. So through that, we really promote purification systems at home, and why spend from a carbon footprint perspective, we move all this water around on trucks and vehicles and so forth. So how do we develop this at home? And interestingly, what we did see during the pandemic is we saw a lot of people, and I think it's the trend that we saw in South Africa, a lot of people spending money on their homes. We saw the building industry increasing and a lot of activity in that environment. And we saw that on water as well. So a lot of people, we've seen a definite upswing in product sales, in people putting water purification systems at home and creating backup water systems and putting in rain harvesting systems. So what are we looking for in developing our business? Community focus, somebody passionate about water, somebody passionate about sales, and somebody looking for the freedom of owning their own business.
We have a question coming from Lawrence. He's asking, Gary, could you please elaborate on what H20 or BWT does to help the environment?
So the first thing is we've got a major campaign that runs globally. So the first thing is the BWT slogan is for you and Planet Blue. And that's really what it says. It's for us, our health, and for the planet. So what we have is what we refer to as a bottle-free zone. And long-term, we want to see how we can reduce the plastic bottles in the environment. So to give you an example, BWT this year is the sponsor of the Salzburg Cultural Exhibition. And they're the main sponsors, and they have a completely bottle-free zone. So what they've done is they've put in water purified dispensers throughout the cultural event. and people will receive bottles and no one will receive any plastic bottles. So there's a big focus on the environment. BWT is also very conscious that, and the number fails me, but there's a ridiculous number of people that don't have access to drinking water globally. So BWT has a social project which focuses on getting water to people. And one of the big focus areas is Africa. And they've undertaken projects in Gambia, currently in Tanzania, and in Nigeria as well, looking at how we can get clean drinking water to communities in that environment. But BWT are also very, very specific that people must value water. So as much as they focus on getting water to those communities, what they're saying is no matter what they pay, it's not the value, but they must pay something so that we associate and link value to water.
Interesting, interesting. Any final thoughts before we close?
I think what I would like to express is I've been in the water industry for 3 years, and what I've learned and what I've seen, it is our most precious commodity. And we need to be so conscious of looking after it. And so often we say that the smallest things that we can do still make a difference. And if it's as simple as switching off the tap while you're brushing your teeth, then that's what it is. And through that passing of information to the generations that are to come, we can save water and look after our future generations.
Well, we've had a final comment coming from Brian saying that he's heard the access to mobile phones is higher than access to clean water. I don't know. Sometimes I can believe that. I've got a friend of mine who's in the health profession, but he says, you know, nobody cares about their health. They're all worried about their beauty at the moment.
But that's a scary statistic that, and actually Brian's quite right, there was quite an article on it. But yeah, more people have access to mobile phones than they have access to water.
Sure. It's quite a scary thought, eh? Very scary thought. Anyway, I just want to thank you. That's all we got time for today. I want to thank you, Gary, for his time. I just also want to mention that as an H20 BWT franchisee, you'll be part of an established company and enjoy the support of a leading brand with an experienced team to help you ride the wave of success to great financial rewards. If you would like to get in touch with Gary Daines of H20 BWT, we will be popping a link in the comment box if it's not there already for you to be able to send Gary a message. So in closing, I'd just like to remind everybody that FASA is an organization that is there to protect, lobby, promote, and develop ethical franchising across all sectors in South Africa with a specific focus on transformation. If you would like to know more about what FASA does and their products, you can visit them at www.fasa.co.za. You can find out more about membership, about franchising, franchise opportunities, the events. We've got online events to help you understand and learn more about business and franchising. So head over to www.fasa.co.za for more information. So that's all we have time for. Thank you everyone for watching and have a super week, whatever it is you're doing.